This is the RiverHawks SportsNest, talking all things NSU athletics. I'm Sean Solo.
And I am Captain Morgan. RiverHawks SportsNest is presented by the NSU Foundation and sponsored in part by DJ Sean Solo Entertainment, with our hosting sponsor, Emery's Grill. The RiverHawks SportsNest is a Rogue Radio Network production.
You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at rh.sportsnest and click the link in the bio to catch every episode on your favorite streaming platforms and on YouTube.
Go RiverHawks!
The RiverHawks SportsNest is proud to be presented by the NSU Foundation.
For more than 50 years, the NSU Foundation has supported Northeastern State University students by awarding millions of dollars in privately funded scholarships, helping thousands of RiverHawks obtain their academic goals.
If you're interested in starting a scholarship, you can contact them at foundation@nsuok.edu. And if you're an NSU student ready to apply, visit scholarships.nsuok.edu.
Solo, where we at tonight?
Come on, Captain, you know where we're at. We're posted up at Emery's Grill at 409 North Muskogee Avenue in downtown Tahlequah, the hosting sponsor of the RiverHawks SportsNest.
Well, you know Emery's Grill is the captain's favorite, but what's that wheel on the table all about?
Oh yeah, that's the Wheel of Specials. We spin it at the start of the show, and wherever it lands, the whole place wins.
RiverHawks talk, great food, and surprise specials?
Come for the specials, stay for the sports. Thank you, Emery's. What's up, party people? You don't just hear a great DJ, you feel it. Packed dance floors with hands in the air. That moment when the beat drops and the whole room loses it. That's DJ Sean Solo Entertainment. Weddings, parties, bars, events. I don't press play. I create the moment. From the first beat to the final drop, DJ Sean Solo Entertainment. May the beats be with you. Let's do this.
Let's go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the RiverHawks SportsNest podcast, and this is episode 612. I'm Sean Solo.
And I am Captain Morgan.
SportsNest is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, the NSU Foundation. And we'd like to thank our hosting sponsor, Emery's Grill, where we record our show live at 6 p.m. every Wednesday during the spring semester here in downtown Tahlequah. We'd like to encourage everyone to hang out, watch the show in person, and meet the players and coaches.
And the mission of the show is simple, to put NSU student athletes and coaches on the radar. So we bring the programs, the coaches, players, alumni, and the entire RiverHawk athletic community together. It's your home port for everything RiverHawks athletics.
And, of course, you can catch the episodes on your favorite streaming platform and watch the episodes on the Rogue Radio Network YouTube channel. And you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at rh.sportsnest. And click the link in the bio for all the streaming platforms. And be sure to follow, like, and subscribe.
And on Peggy's Perch, we highlight the work of the NSU Foundation, which has been supporting RiverHawks for more than 50 years and awarding millions of dollars in privately funded scholarships to thousands of NSU students. If you're interested in starting a scholarship or a NSU student applying for a scholarship, you can go to scholarships.nsuok.edu. Now, coming up next week, we have a special guest on next week. We're talking with assistant coach Anthony Smith of the Muskogee Sky Kings. So Muskogee's brought a minor league basketball team into town. So the Sky Kings are going to be playing at April 17th, a week from this Friday. They're playing their games at Ron D. Millen Gym at Muskogee High School. So looking forward to having them on. I think Jay's going to be down here with a couple players, because I know Coach Havens actually has a former player that plays in that league.
Oh, okay.
So from NSU. So that's pretty exciting.
It's a nice tie-in.
Yeah, it is.
And then, of course, you know, every week we have Peggy's Perch, Peggy Glenn of the Foundation. She'll come in and have her little segment. We'll do the Wheel of Specials here at Emery's Grill. So we spin for specials for the hour that you're here for the podcast.
Now the good stuff.
Huh?
Now the good stuff, right?
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
So here we go. And I love, huh?
I want to say, first of all, we've got Director Sizemore on.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't had him in a long time. So it's good to have you back on the show.
Well, it's good to be here. I remember the first one and the second one and the first 35.
Yeah.
And then I remember when we created this little venture, and it's come a long way. So thanks for having me back.
Of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
As always.
Yeah, you've been a busy man. We'll talk about some of that stuff, but I think we want to kind of get to the other man of the hour if we could.
Well, and I think we feel honored that we are the outlet for the RiverHawks Sports Nation because we get the exclusives. So here we go. Today marks a historic moment for NSU athletics as we welcome the inaugural head coach of the RiverHawks' brand new women's wrestling program, Coach Bryan Kenney. Nice to have you on, Coach.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Coach Kenney steps into this role at a groundbreaking time as NSU prepares to launch the first NCAA women's wrestling program in the state of Oklahoma, with competition set to begin in the fall of 2026. He brings a championship mindset and a proven track record of building programs from the ground up. Most recently, at Northern Oklahoma College, he restarted the men's wrestling program and quickly guided multiple athletes to the national stage, while also contributing to the nationally ranked women's squad. Before that, he built a powerhouse reputation in Texas high school, wrestling at J.J. Pierce in Plano East. I was down in Texas for a long, long time, so I know those schools.
Nice.
They're powerhouses. Racking up over 250 dual meet victories and developing athletes at every level. And on the national scene, he's a USA Wrestling certified coach with experience coaching at the Pan American level, the Olympic Training Center, and upcoming World Championship events. Now he brings that experience and leadership to the Division to Tahlequah, tasked with building the RiverHawks into a national contender from day one. You like all that? That's like I had to come up with a little intro resume for you.
You made me sound like I know what I was talking about. That's awesome. Thank you.
Well, we'll edit out whatever we need to.
Perfect.
But, Coach, it's great to have you on, man. This is exciting stuff. I mean, wrestling at NSU.
We welcome you. It's amazing, what Director Sizemore has added on, bringing you on with the other sports, and we'll talk about those. But let's concentrate on yours, on what you've been doing here first. So, I mean, we don't have any students here. We want to make that clear. You're still recruiting. You're starting your season next semester.
Yes.
So just talk about what that looks like, just right off the top.
So I finished the season with Northern Oklahoma College at our nationals, and then that was Saturday. Monday, dropped off my keys, was full-time here at NSU, and we've hit the ground running ever since.
Wow.
So,
no downtime at all, huh?
Well, we had the bus ride back from Cedar Falls, but I was recruiting already, so I was already on my phone. But, since then, I've been commuting back and forth. We've bought our house here in Welling.
Welling, yeah.
Welling is our home, so I'm learning everything here.
Yeah, good. You'll love Highway 10.
Yeah,
the river down there.
We sold our house in Ponca and just full recruiting mode right now. So it's been awesome. Been setting up visits every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, literally since we've started. The first weekend, the first tour day, we had 15 women on campus with their families. It was crazy, amazing, a little more hectic than maybe I expected. I will say the photo shoot, coach's error on my part, took a little longer than I had, put in the schedule, but it was awesome. That first visit, we've already signed 11 of those 15.
Oh, wow.
And the two of them are at the World Team Trials this weekend, so they've kind of had a couple other things going on. I fully expect we'll have all 15 of them when we're all said and done. But since then, we've signed as of this morning. We had another young lady come on campus today that verbally committed. We've got to do her paperwork when I get home about midnight tonight, and we'll be at 16 on the women's roster as of tomorrow.
How many are you shooting for? Did you have like
300?
All of them? All of them?
Just
Whoever wants to play.
A whole dorm? I mean, how many dorm rooms you got, Coach? No, year one, when we originally talked, it was, 20 to 25 range. I really want about 30 was my goal for this first year. That'll give us depth at every weight class down the line. And with some of the transfers coming in, especially from our JUCO transfers, figuring out when their redshirt year will make the most sense. And then once we get rolling, in the 40 to 50 range, every year. But yeah, as of 16, and I've been recruiting for 2 weeks now, I don't think that, 25 to 30 is going to be very difficult. So
yeah.
What's the average roster size for women's wrestling? Because this is new to,
Yeah,
I
loaded
mean, it's new
answer.
to us and
It
new to
depends
everybody.
which
really.
college you're talking about. I mean, especially between NCAA, NAI. For us, kind of the history lesson, we're in Division 1A, if you want to call it that, or 1.5. For women's wrestling, it's Division 1 and Division 2 compete against each other. And then Division 3 will be separate next year. So we get to go through, all the big dogs to win a national title, and that's why I wanted to be here. So with saying that, yes, I mean, we're bringing in kind of junior college transfers, NAI transfers, Division II portal, all of the above. And so with saying that, I mean, some of our competitions their rosters are 30, some are 5, and in between.
What's is that what you're looking more towards to get the program? Like, what does year one look like as far as starting? I mean, it's probably obviously every aspect of it, but like, what does year one look like as far as? Is it mostly transfers? Do you get some high school people
Yes.
you're looking at?
So
and then what is?
I would
Yeah.
say it's probably about 60-40 when it comes to transfers versus incoming freshmen. And because at this level, I mean, it is going to be difficult for a girl coming out of high school to compete with women that are 22, 23, 24 years old. And, but we do have, a couple of our freshmen that are committing or are in the recruitment process can honestly come in and compete for an All-American title as freshmen. Wow. So with, the dynamics here, and honestly, NSU's rolled the red carpet out for us. And as I told Coach, I wouldn't have came here if I didn't think we can be a top 5 team right away. Maybe not year 1, but by year 3, we should be in the mix. Year 4, we're fighting for a national title. And that's completely what I believe. I mean, from the facilities to just this area, being able to have, girls with in-state tuition around this area. I mean, nobody can compete with us as far as I'm concerned. Wow. So I'm going after everybody.
Okay. Yeah. Noted.
Yeah. So, John, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions there. I mean, we've seen the kind of coaches that you brought in and what you're looking for. And, I mean, obviously he's checking the boxes from what we've seen before. So just talk a little bit about how your relationship developed, how you got him here.
Yeah, so, we put a committee together for hiring both the men's and women's wrestling coaches. And on that committee, we're very fortunate to have some people that have been in wrestling and around wrestling for a long time, and some local folks that they've named streets after in the state of Oklahoma who've won national titles and All-Americans and yada, yada. And so we had a lot of resources to help us find quality candidates and then to narrow them down to figure out who was going to be the best fit. And through the process and through all the help that we got with the resources, Bryan fit that. He checked that box, and he fit what we were looking for. And he's been involved in Oklahoma wrestling. He's helped start a program. Very committed to what he's doing, and it goes beyond that. It needs to be a fit for their families and for NSU and for the surrounding community. And he checked all the boxes, and we were very fortunate that we were able to have him apply for the job, and even more fortunate that he accepted the offer. So
that was one of the biggest things whenever you announced the expansion of the teams, John. And the most comments I got or texts that I received were people asking about women's wrestling. Like they were just, is it women's wrestling? Yes. So it is. It's an exciting part of the state. I didn't realize it was that big until you announced it.
Yeah, when I started putting these new sports together, I had them approved a few years ago, and then we had a change at the leadership, and so I kind of had to put them on the back burner. But I spent about 2 years of my time mostly going around to high school to watch women's wrestling, and within very close proximity, even here in Tahlequah, all the way over to Jay, and then even further out. And I watched the growth of it in the last 2 or 3 years in high school in Oklahoma. It's just tremendous, and I knew that this was an opportunity that we need to take advantage of.
So did you put your name in the hat, or did they seek you out? Brian, or like, did you see the job and you applied for it, or?
Yes. So honestly, when it posted last summer, I was actually at the NWCA convention, and they have a leadership, call it like a CEO training program for college coaches. Because really, at the college level, you're more of a CEO than a technician a lot of times. And I was there, and I had talked to some people there, and I had talked to my wife when I got the job at NOC, and there was no reason to leave. You know, my family was happy, kids were happy, the program was moving in the right direction, but I said if the right Division II state school opened, that would be my ideal situation. And that's always the thing, well, are you using this as a stair step? Are you trying to be a D1 assistant? I was like, no, that's not. I'm trying to make a career, and my family's happy, my kids are happy, but the idea of, to me, a Division II state school is the ideal situation for college wrestling. And there's a lot to that, and cost, competition, and especially on the women's side, and especially when the women's side opened, you know, I had reached out, and to me, that's really the mecca of women's wrestling is division. There's only 8 Division I programs for women's wrestling, and being able to be in Oklahoma and being close to Texas where I had connections in Texas. I coached in Florida for 2 years, utilizing the other junior college programs. You know, we kind of fits the box. This program fit all the boxes for me too. And recruit on campus today. Well, coach, what happens if you were to leave? I was like, where am I going to go? I was like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm like, NOC was my dream job. This was my, fantasy job. I was like, this is it. My daughter's in 7th, going in 6th grade. My son's in kindergarten. I was like, I fully expect my son to graduate from, Tahlequah High School, and this is where we're going to make our career and win a couple national titles here in the process. So
that's good to hear. And I mean, Tahlequah, are you going to love Tahlequah?
She's a little grin go around.
Yeah. And there's a lot to do here with your family too. They're going to love it. I mean, they like water and sun. They're going to have a blast.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. Hiking, kayaking, fishing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're talking my language now, Coach.
There it
talking
is.
my language there, yeah.
Yeah, 5 or 10 minutes away from the river, 30 minutes away from the lake. Yeah, you can't beat it.
Our house that we got is a half a mile to the river. I could take my golf cart.
There you go. You're ready.
I've already we planned it out. Yeah, we're done. There
Yeah, that's good.
All my Texas buddies, they're so jealous of me because they would give me so much crap from being from Oklahoma when I was living in Dallas. And then when they came to visit me up here and stayed for a weekend, and they're country boys, and they're like going, I'm sorry, I'll never say anything negative about Oklahoma again. So, yeah, it's definitely got a lot of draw to it.
Oh, and this area is just so cool with, all the water sports and being able to hike and be outside. That's what, and all the festivals. I mean,
oh yeah,
that's what. There's always something going on.
Does.
Yeah.
If we're not at wrestling, or my daughter's dance, then we're at something outside or hiking or walking. I mean, so it's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
Definitely a great draw. So getting back to, the program and that aspect of it, building it, what does year one look like for you as far as making a successful season? What's kind of your goals for this year for it?
A lot of sleepless nights. No, but with saying that, I mean, our goal is obviously to put a good team on the mat year one. I mean, we're not coming here to make a JV entry level, year one. We're going to shock some people. We're going to beat teams.
Like you want to compete right away, obviously.
100%. Yeah, I mean, we're going to put girls at the national tournament. I expect to have girls on the podium at nationals, and beat teams that have been established for a long time, especially in this southern region.
Right.
I fully expect us to be the team to beat in the South right off the bat.
I always love it how we are just in this case, we're not going to be the redheaded stepchild, but
Hey,
we're
I am a redhead.
I will say so it fits. It fits.
All right, red bearded.
We're red bearded. Yeah.
It
The
fell
other
down.
part, yeah.
It fell down.
But to be the underdog, I love that aspect of basically all of our sports. But it's like we're going to shock some people. We're going to shock the world.
Oh yeah. No, we're already getting plenty of attention, and especially
especially
making people mad, and I'm going top down. I mean, we're not recruiting people just to fill
have
fill
on the
a
roster. Yeah.
No, I mean, we're recruiting girls to be on the podium and get college degrees. And the last recruit, she's wanting to be a national champ, she's wanting to make a world team, and she wants to be a doctor. And it's like, okay, that's what we're looking at.
Sure.
And so it's really exciting. It's been a lot of fun so far, and it's been a lot of hours, but
Give us a little background, because to some of our listeners, I mean, even to me, how did women's college wrestling start? I mean, I know Oklahoma, we've always been, we softball and football, and then that school in Stillwater, they've always been a strong men's wrestling team. So how did the women's aspect come across the national scene?
So really, I'm showing my age, but when women wanted to wrestle, when we were in high school, then they had to wrestle against the guys. And, there were a couple women that, survived and were really good that were my age that ended up making Olympic teams, from the Chicagoland area. And when I came to Dallas after college and I started coaching, that was the first time I coached separate women's and men's programs. Mm-hmm. But all while I was a high school coach, it was always, I was director of wrestling, if you wanted to call it that, and I was the head men's and head women's. But in Texas, the men's and women's never competed against each other. So Texas kind of had that jump start for women's wrestling for a long time because they had separated it out. And it was really an old boxing law in Texas that men and women couldn't compete in combat sports.
Okay.
So it was an old boxing law that then when a girl was like, well, I want to wrestle, and they're like, sorry, you can't. She's like, that doesn't work. That's the definition of discrimination. So,
right.
Definition, yeah.
And that's really where, Texas had jump-started the women's, separation, along with, I believe it was Washington and California and a couple schools. And then Oklahoma had separated women's. Illinois was one of the last ones, Pennsylvania. And now really women's wrestling has become mainstream all across the country. And it's been the fastest growing sport in America was high school. And high schools was women's wrestling. And that's been the last, I believe, 5-6 years. Not to quote it exactly, but the chicken or the egg, now that women were able to compete against other women. And, I also believe that the UFC and MMA helped make, wrestling more mainstream, where women were seeing, hey, I can make a career out of this. I can get my college paid for. And obviously Oklahoma's had a rich, like you said, men's tradition in wrestling for hundreds of years. Now you've seen, oh, my grandpa wrestled, my dad wrestled, and more of the guys that weren't bought into women's wrestling before now have a daughter that, well, Dad, I want to wrestle. And
now they have the opportunity.
Right, now you have the opportunity, and all of the things that, Terry Snyder, who's our women's director for USA Wrestling, he kind of tells a story where when he was offered the women's director or head coach for USA Wrestling, he was like, well, I'm not sure, do I want to go on the women's side? Will this hurt my career? He was trying to be a D1 head coach on the men's side. And his wife, he tells a story, his wife was like, well, all these things you talk about that wrestling does for men, and when you're recruiting all these guys, and he was a D1 assistant at that time, she was like, well, don't you want those same opportunities for your daughters?
Wow.
And he was like, that was that moment that it was like, wow, I do. And she was like, well, what better way than lead women's wrestling in America that you can make that change for everybody? And really, that's obviously our national team's been successful. We beat Japan. We've won Olympic golds, and creating that pipeline. And also, college women is freestyle, which helps make that pipeline even easier to make world and Olympic teams. So we're training freestyle year round.
That's interesting. I was reading the different kind of matches. So like freestyle, I know a little bit about that now. I didn't know more for today, but I was like, yes.
But you do your homework?
A little bit there, because I was like, man, I gotta.
All right, well, y'all be at the first duel, so we'll definitely,
Oh yeah, we have to be.
We'll definitely give you a, we'll have you come to practice and let
Yes.
the girls throw you around a little bit, beat you up.
Okay,
So
see,
no.
It's him.
No,
It's
no,
him.
no. I'm always a participator, but
We try to do participation, but we're old.
we have to be picky and choosy.
Right.
Yes.
Hell, I just fractured my finger this weekend at the spring game trying to
He
block
would-
field goals.
He wasn't even playing, and he's got he broke a finger at the spring game.
Trust me.
Set a barrier up for you, but it just
Yeah, players didn't come near me. It was damn field goal kickers, and
They were probably-
had my DJ booth right behind the field goal, which was already a bad spot. I didn't want to be there, but because of all the rain, I was kind of forced to be there. But it was either, ruin thousands of dollars of machines and gear.
You got 10 fingers. You can-
I got, I've
It's
got
just a finger. None of mine.
yeah,
None of
right.
mine are straight. I did have a chiropractor a couple years ago. So, Coach, how many more years of eligibility do you have? And I was like, "Oh, Doc, I don't have any. Why?" And he's like, "Exactly." So why are you going live with your heavyweight and coming here turned sideways?
right.
My fault. That's-
Well, I told Coach Chev that I was questionable, so the only injury that happened on Saturday, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's good. Coach Sizemore, I mentioned a couple times the other sports you brought in. Can you kind of touch base on some of those things that we got coming up?
Yeah, so we started men's tennis team. We brought them back this season, and been very successful, and it's been a really good showing for them. And then we of course brought in Bryan for women's wrestling, and then you guys will have Terry on, Coach Pack on in the next couple episodes for men's wrestling. And then you'll have Coach Jacobs on for volleyball, and so we're excited about those three that are here this year. And then the following year, we're putting our committee together as we speak for track and field and cross country. And then on the back side of things, I haven't got it approved yet, so a little bit of a snippet. We've been working really hard on the potential. That is the key word, potential. But it's looking really good right now for rodeo at NSU. So.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what I'm talking about. Please keep our wrestlers away from riding bulls.
Isn't it that new facility off of?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what
Yep. That's cool.
I've heard. It's got new good barbecue too. So
Really, really good.
Yeah.
The mac and cheese there is amazing.
Oh,
yeah?
okay.
Yes.
I ate there yesterday.
I've been hearing it was one of the best in town. I was like, okay.
I was there.
I'm gonna
I
check
was
it
there
out.
last week. I brought a recruit there, and she
Yeah, we-
committed. So
We're really,
call.
we're working really hard on that program right now, and we don't know where it's going to go, but we've got great vision for it, and it looks like we're going to have the opportunity to potentially use that facility. And so I'm letting a little bit of the cat out of the bag, but we're working hard on it, and we'll see what happens. But right now, we're concentrating on women's wrestling. So
Yes.
you heard it here first, folks. Right? Breaking news.
Well, that's cool to hear. It really has. The changes that have been made in the last couple of years, we're seeing a lot of the fruits come out from it from Director Sizemore. So, and it's good to see you on board here. And you're actually everything I probably could have imagined. Was like, yes, he's ready. He's ready. Championship. Let's go. Let's do it.
and honestly, working with Terry, coach you just mentioned. I mean, I've known Terry for years now, and
okay.
our men's coach, and we are separate programs, but when you're starting wrestling in the same spaces, I mean, me and Terry's on my favorites now on my phone. I mean,
Right.
I think I talk to him 5 times a day, and just being able to work with him, and he's got an amazing resume. Once you get him here, you'll find out. But it's just been awesome working together and having the same vision of what we're building, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a program, not 2 teams. Mm-hmm. So we both kind of have the same vision and of what we're going to do, and it's awesome. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
I was kind of curious. Well, I was kind of surprised. I figured like tennis, men's and women's tennis, it would be the same coach. So I was kind of surprised whenever there were 2 coaches, one for men's wrestling and one for
yeah,
women's wrestling.
tennis teams, their roster size is not quite the same as having 30 to 40 on each side. So
Okay.
and the recruiting aspect of it, and being able to be on the road and figuring out who you're bringing in just takes more people, and they work together. That was very instrumental in our hiring process, is to make sure that who we were interviewing and going to offer the jobs to, that they could work as like I say, as Coach had mentioned, it's going to be not two separate teams, but they're going to be together. And so they both have really good experience on both sides of it. And, either coach could basically, Bryan could go coach the men and Terry could go coach the women at any point. So,
that's good.
Yeah, they can work together very well.
So this fall, I've had people ask me since this past year on where everybody's going to be competing at, or where they're going to house the teams at. Where is wrestling going to be competing at? Is it going to be in the actual event center, or is it going to be at Jack Dobb Fieldhouse? Or do we even,
Well,
has that been determined yet?
We've been talking about that a lot, and
Okay, so we're still open.
right, it's still open. But I mean, if it's a big event, like we were saying, probably our first home duel when
The
we're going
inaugural.
to pack the place, right? Then that would be, in the new arena, but most of our stuff will be in the field house. And honestly, part of that is I just like how loud it is. And if I yell and it echoes, and we pack that thing with 2,000 people, it's going to be deafening. And I want, and Terry's the same way. We
Want that intimate kind of feel? Yeah.
The old West Gym in Northern Iowa, that type of feel where it's echoing, and we want our home matches to be a place that people don't want to come to wrestle us here.
Right.
That it's an intimidating place. It's loud. We've got, the football players front row jumping up and down, and I want to have to be pushing them back to sit down. We've already talked about that, and, just really an intimidating place to compete. And I grew up wrestling in the Chicago area, and there were some places that were kind of scary to compete at, and that's not dangerous, but intimidating. That's a better wording, but that's what we're looking for. So
Sounds good.
is that a good answer, Code?
That's perfect.
Okay.
I mean, that's where Jack Dobbins Fieldhouse is going to be our permanent facility for wrestling. They'll keep their mats down and practice there, and then the smaller events mainly we'll have most of those there, and then the large ones, when we need more space and for people, we'll take them to the event center, and then we're hoping Coach is working on some pretty good regional events that might take place elsewhere, but we're working on that right now, and we'll hopefully have some announcements for that sometime soon. So,
Cool. Well, shall we?
Yeah. To go ahead and lead off, brother.
Let's do this.
Have a little fun.
So we do this with the players, and so we're going to indoctrinate you because you're a guest, so you have to participate. Right. Captain and I have our own
I didn't
little.
get the Cliff Notes on.
No, you don't need
Okay,
cliff
all right,
notes.
perfect.
This is all you. We have our own little bits and shtick. So here's the first one.
Bringing the hottest hits to make you move.
Oh, shit.
Hello, you rebel scum. We are coming to you live from the Mos Eisley Studios here on beautiful Tatooine. This is the DJ Sean Solo Mix. Thanks, Chewy. I am DJ Sean Solo, the people's DJ, for the people, by the people. So get ready. 3 questions, 3 answers. Are you ready, Coach?
All right, bring it.
Question 1, or statement 1. Let's hear your best Michael Buffer imitation.
Let's get ready to rumble.
I like it.
Nailed it.
Question 2. You're at WrestleMania. Who is your tag team partner? Rick, the Nature Boy Flair, Hollywood or Hulk Hogan, Randy Macho Man Savage, or Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Today or 8-year-old me?
Those were 8-year-old you, I think.
8-year-old you.
Definitely Hulk Hogan.
Okay. And question 3. You were stranded on a deserted island. You get either one album or one artist to listen to forever. What and who is your choice?
You're on an island, it's got to be Jimmy Buffett. You have to embrace it.
Just soak it all in.
Right,
The beach
you're on
life.
an island. Let's hear Margaritaville over and over
and
again.
repeat.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, there you go. That is the Sean Solo Mix. Thanks, Coach.
Good stuff.
You like that?
Oh, yeah, that's good. I knew you were going wrestling when you talked about when you said Ori and obviously Coach McLean Have y'all had a chance to speak yet? Coach Tim McLean?
Yes.
Yes. So he,
This week.
He's
him and Ori.
huge wrestle nut.
Yeah, he and Ori did the broadcasting. I mean, they eat it up. I mean, I've go over there to Coach McLean's and we watch wrestling sometimes. So it's
Nice.
yeah.
And when McLean is on, we have to set it the over-under on how many wrestling references he's going to make during a tennis interview. So whichever. All right. Next up, you ready?
Yeah, I think
is.
so. Next up is a Walk the Plank with Captain Morgan, presented by Red Rum, Tahlequah's hometown barbershop. All right, you scallywags, welcome aboard the USS RiverHawks SportsNest, where the seas be rough and the questions be tougher. Shipmates, here's how it works. I'll be asking you a question to test your knowledge. If you get it right, you stay aboard, and you earn a shot as the honorary first mate. But if you get it wrong, oh no, matey. Over the side you go. That means you'll be taking a dip in the deep blue and facing a sink or swim question to see if you can claw your way back to this fine ship. And we need you, Coach, so come back. So steady yourself. Are you ready to walk the plank?
All right, let's go.
True or false? If a pirate says, "Shiver me timbers," what are they usually expressing? Hunger, surprise or shock, victory or sleepiness? Shiver me timbers, arr! If a pirate says, "Shiver me timbers," what are they usually expressing? Hunger, surprise or shock, or victory or sleepiness?
Let's go surprise.
Surprise or shock? Yes. Aye, shipmate. You now have proven your knowledge. You can stay aboard the USS RiverHawks.
Perfect.
Here you go. He's on.
Let's see if you can answer another question to become the first mate of this fine ship. The ship takes damage below after the captain's been hitting the rum. What do you call the bottom interior of the ship where the water collects? Is it the hull? Is it the deck, the bilge, or the keel? The ship takes damage below after the captain's been hitting the rum. What do you call the bottom of the interior of the ship where the water collects? Hull, deck, bilge,
Let's go Hall.
hull?
Dang.
Oh no, your high seas be tough. But you're just be a pollywog. You'll be fine. You can stay aboard. The correct answer is bilge. The hull is actually the outside of the ship, and then the bilge is the inside where the water collects.
I knew what the deck was. That's all.
Yes.
I had.
Good job. Thank you.
Good participator.
Yes.
Well, coaches, any last word? We greatly appreciate y'all coming on
Absolutely.
here and having, the exclusive rights to have our first coaches on for wrestling and stuff. So, Coach, any last words or any word out to the potential recruits or anything like that?
Well, just thank you guys all for having me come out, and the community's been amazing, and they've really welcomed us, and we're excited to be here full time, and definitely keep watching our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all that fun stuff for all of our recruits that we're bringing in, and we really want to make them feel at home right away, and definitely come to our first meets next year, and watch us throw some women on their heads. That's what it's going to come down to.
Real quick, are you forming that schedule? You're working with Director Veith on your schedule?
So ours is unique that we only have one other women's program in our conference. So we were talking yesterday, I guess we're going to duel Fort Hays State, and whoever wins is the district champs. So
Hey.
we're trying to figure that
That's
out.
one way to
So,
start it off.
Yeah, the women's schedule will be a lot more open. It's not locked in like the guys' side. So
Okay.
we'll starting to work on that. I wanted to make sure who we had on our roster first before I built our schedule to make sure that we're pushed but not
Pushed too far.
put through the grinder.
Sure,
But yeah,
sure.
we'll be traveling. We've already got some of the tournaments locked in that we're going to go to, and then we'll kind
Sweet.
of backdate all the duels. So
Gotcha. Coach Sizemore, any last parting words, sir?
Well, it's good to be back again. It's been a little bit since I've been on here, and you guys have come a long way, especially with your your end of your show antics.
We got to make it entertaining.
Yep, for sure. Well, we appreciate you guys and what you're doing for us in athletics, and we're looking forward to coach and women's wrestling and come out and be ready to support. And they're going to put on a great show for us sometime really soon.
Yeah, Coach. SportsNest will definitely be on there match 1, so it'll have to be a big thing for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll send out like a freestyle 101 for everybody too, so everybody knows, like we were saying,
What's it doing?
what
All right.
to what to cheer
expect.
for.
Okay. Yeah. We already talked about that.
Yeah, no, he's
Coach Ferg just walked in, so now we got
Now we got those antics.
now we got the
on
peanut
suplex
gallery
day,
here.
when we learn suplexes that day, we'll make sure we invite you.
Okay, I'll watch and take notes.
Okay.
And before we get off here, I got a question to ask. So
much for the end of the show.
you see this right here? So the round. What are we going to put up there for wrestling? Do you have a jersey we're going to put up there? Like, 'cause we got
Headgear
basketball,
or-
we got tennis, we got football, baseball, we got all the sports. But what are we going to add for wrestling?
I mean, we could do a headgear, we could do a singlet. we
Okay.
could do the logo of somebody getting suplexed that I've got
Okay.
tattooed on my leg. We could do
Okay.
All right,
okay.
I like that
So
one.
we got lots of
Okay, we got
we
ideas.
got
Lots of
options. Nice.
My wife does all the artwork and design for us, so we got to get
perfect,
some ideas and going. All right. All right, fair enough, Captain. Another great episode, sir.
Great episode. Thank you very much, Coach.
you, guys.
Gentlemen, again, thanks for being here.
Yes.
All right, this has been the RiverHawks SportsNest podcast, presented to you by the NSU Foundation. I'm Sean Solo.
And I am Captain Morgan.
We'll see you next week. We are out. Bye-bye.